So I'm the guy that bought the accident damaged BMW GS from auction, but then I found something wrong with the engine. Something heated, maybe a sheet or something. You see, now it starts to backfire. Whoa, it died. Shit. I just hope this doesn't cost me a fortune to fix. I actually didn't think I'll be able to do that. Wow! My heart feels like it's going like this because I was very excited because I managed to fix it and it was wonderful. Brand new, they cost a lot of money, and even second hand, they still cost a lot of money. So the only way that I could actually afford a bike like this, to buy one which is accident damaged, I mean, how difficult can it be? It's just a block of Legos with screws and oil. Let me show you why maybe it's not such a good idea. Something heated, maybe a sheet or something, because this thing is completely broken. This must be attached. This is loose. There's nothing here. This side, there's a nice plastic there, plastic cover here, and a plastic cover there, and a badge that says R1200GS and a BMW badge. But this side, there's nothing. Plastic in here, a plastic here, but then this side, stuff is missing here. Here, you see, here's a air intake, but then this side there's also one, but there's a nice covered plastic thing here. Something is missing, and then there's a pipe that's loose over there. Cable is just hanging there. There's a lot of grease and stuff there. This switch gone, and then this one you can take it apart. It's nice. If you look at this one, it's removable. You can see there's some damage, but the good news is it's not bent at all. The insurance also looked at it, and they also confirmed that the chassis, the frame, is not bent, because then it would have been a code 3. It's got Brembo brakes. On the floor there's no oil. If you look at the tray at the back, the lights, that's all good. The seat is very nice. The clutch feels great. The handlebar looks great. The brake feels really great. This badge is still in good condition. The screen, very good. When you turn it up and down, actually goes up and down. Visor is still intact. The light is still good. And then this side of the bike, everything seems to be in really good condition. Guard looks really good. I can see the brake fluid is there. It's good. Engine oil is still good. And then when I look at the radiator, I can see there's a fan. I haven't started it yet to run it to temperature because there's that backfire. And I don't know if the backfire is something wrong with the engine, maybe because of these wires that's exposed over here, or if it's because of this radiator being bent, or if there's no water in the system. So when I bought it, I got 2 keys with the bike. So this is the one, and then I got a second one as well. Okay, let me just make sure. So it's on the stand. I'm so nervous because I really don't know bikes. I've only had one bike long time ago, and a Yamaha 200cc Blaster, which was freaking awesome. So when I switch it on, if you see something that's not right, please let me know. Let's start it. Oh, I'm so nervous. Let's just make sure it's in neutral. Start is here. All right, here we go. Ready? Go. Okay. Okay, let me bring the mic close to the engine cylinder and close to this side. So you can hear that sounds quite good. And now it's 32 degrees. I don't know how warm must it be before the radiator starts working. Whoa, you see, now it starts to backfire. Whoa, it died 34 degrees. Shit. I hope I didn't kill it. When it died, it made this shit. But you heard the backfire. I told you there's a backfire. But this was severe. This is the longest that I've run it since I've had it. And now it just... It almost sounded as something broke in the engine. Shit. Alright, I'm worried. I don't know these bikes. At this point in time, when I realized that I would have to sharpen up on my knowledge about these bikes, so I went online and I bought the repair manual. Alright, now this manual gave me all the repair and maintenance instructions, repair manuals, tightening torque, service data, as well as special tools that I would need for the repairs on this bike. I can't wait to ride into the sunset and enjoy the spirit of a big adventure bike. I just hope this doesn't cost me a fortune to fix. So with that said, I took out my tools and started stripping down the bike to make sure that there's no hidden damage. I immediately saw that not all bolts were made equal, so I decided to put the bolts and nuts back in the position I found them to make sure I don't lose anything. I also stripped down all the parts and inspected them carefully to make sure that no damaged part will go back on this bike. And this now reveals the radiator, and it's at the full mark, so that's perfect. It seems like it's held together somewhere here. To get to this, it looks like there's a screw from the bottom, and to get there you have to take off the wheel. I don't know how to take off this wheel, so if I drive this on an overland adventure I would also probably need to know how to take off the wheel. So this was the point in time when I realized I have to study this manual and go through each step of how to replace parts. So I searched for my bike and then I started digging into the manual to see how do I replace these parts. For instance, the radiator you could replace without losing all the coolant. Step by step the manual gave me all the methods, all the tools that I would need, as well as the torque for each and every bolt. It also indicated the thread locking compound which I would need. So I studied every part that must be replaced and then took out my tools and then got cracking. Listen to that, it's quite strong, T45. Wooden handle from a tool, just to tap it out slightly, just until it comes out on the other side. Go. So I carefully inspected each part for the slightest sign of damage, and if it's damaged, I simply replaced it. Okay, so this thing is a bit smashed up, but it's not broken, it's just a little bit bent. Alright, and then the radiator, it's definitely bent, but it's not leaking, there's no water. Oh, there is, there's some water just there. Look. But this, something needed from the front, and there was some grease, which I didn't like that much because grease was not supposed to sit on a GS. And then I saw this, the rubber. Now this rubber, I believed, was causing a backfire on the engine. Looking at the bike now, I've taken off everything that's broken. So now I'm just going to go online and shop for all the parts I need and then fit the new parts. Hopefully that rubber is the reason why it's misfiring. Let's see, so let's order the new parts. Okay, so I know you're probably dying to know how much did I pay for this bike. R1200GS, my bid price that I bid was 61,500 rand. That's the actual amount that I clicked. Then you also have to add 2,500 rand for buyer's commission and VAT and some other charge. So the actual amount that you have to pay, 77,136 rand. This one is the same as mine. It's a 2014 1200GS, and then it's got 29,000 K. So mine has got also 2014. And it's got 35,000 Ks. Let me show you what parts I could find, and then I'll show you the cost. This part I actually got with the bike. Now this silver part is completely broken, but I did manage to find a new one, which is this one. So it's exactly the same thing, you can see, but this one is complete. But this one has got a badge, and this one has got no badge. But I can take off that badge and put it on this one, and then this part is fixed. Now the radiator, this one is the one that comes off the bike, and then I got a brand new second-hand one. One is this part here. Now you can see there's some damage on this end of the plastic there, and I got this one for next to nothing. This unit with the switches, so you can see on mine this indicator switch here is broken off, as well as these buttons on mine is removable. So this one is now going to fit. Mud flap, it's broken there. So I managed to find this one. If you look at the part number, exactly the same. There's some damage. This one is in perfect condition. When you go to a second-hand parts shop, is just make sure that you get the right part. Exactly 100 mils, exactly 100 mils. But when you hold it together, like here, look, that's perfect. And then it shows, it looks short. So it doesn't look like the same thing when you hold it in your hand. So then what we did, we just color in the part number, because it's really hard to read these part numbers. Some of them are really small. And then we just compared with that part number to make sure it's the exact same thing. The next one was rubber. Now this rubber I actually managed to find for free from a second-hand parts dealer. What a find. This is supposed to be something like this. So this I actually had to buy from BMW. So I was quite surprised how cheap this was. So now that I had all the parts, I could simply fit the new parts back onto the bike. And since I've just taken them off, it was much easier fitting them back, simply because I had some knowledge, as well as the repair manual, which gave me all the torque settings and the sequence of how I should fit these parts. This is the part where my dream started to take shape, and I became excited. And then the rubber. So, to fit the new rubber, I realized that I would have to take off the top tank side panel, as well as the seat, and then the top panel on the tank. So it was just a few bolts. One of the differences between the GS and the GSA is the GS has got a plastic petrol tank, whereas the GSA has got a steel tank. This is the petrol tank. This is where the air comes in, and then filter here, and then the air down here and into the engine. And then obviously if it sucks air there just before the engine, it's going to backfire. So I'm very confident that I think I found the problem with that rubber. What I'm going to do, okay, these clamps, they've got two clamps, two here and two here. So these two are when you want to tighten it, and then these two is when you want to release them. Both of them you just click. So by removing these clamps, that could give me just enough space to replace the broken rubber. Now it's just to put back the clamps. That is very tight, very good. I did it. First time ever that I put a clamp together like that. That is quite a feeling. It's quite exciting. This one is 68. There we go. Now this is the smallest one, the 63. You just put it on with your hand and then you position it where you want. And then you come working with the nasty pliers to do that. I am tough with myself. I actually didn't think I'll be able to do that. Having done that, it's difficult to understand if you, but this feels good. Because I think I fixed the backfire problem just now, which would be awesome if that is the case indeed. Let's fit the radiator. Now the hoses. There we go. This one and then this one. Perfect. This is a new part from BMW. Goes there and there. So then I just continued and fit back all the panels, and again using the correct torque settings for each and every bolt. You don't want to over torque any bolt. Okay, now the next thing is just to make sure that we take off all these bits and pieces, because we're going to reuse some of these parts and fit them onto the new parts. Now, of course, some may say, but why didn't you just buy new parts? But new parts would have cost a fortune, and I didn't have a fortune. So I had to take off all the parts which was not damaged and reuse them. And this saved me a lot of money. Just like that. The next thing is to fit this back to that panel. Now, of course, all these parts were genuine BMW parts. It wasn't brand new. It came from other bikes that was also damaged. But none of the parts which I fitted was damaged. All of them was in a great condition. Now if you've ever had a Lego set that you really liked building, then this is the next level that you should consider. So there's a green and a black wire, and they can only go in one way. You first need to fit it over this thing. I think if you like this video, you may also enjoy this. The more I worked on the bike, the more I enjoyed working on this bike. That is perfect. It clicks and it clicks, and this clicks and this clicks. Everything is done. That rubber is on. I hope the misfire is gone. I'm going to start it. I can't let it run too long because I haven't checked the coolant level after I replaced the radiator. Also, it is quite late at night now, so the neighbors, I think, are sleeping. Okay, let's go. Here we go. Ready. So far, it sounds really good. It actually sounds really, really good. There's not a strange sound anymore. It's almost as if it's softer as well. There's a blinking sign for ABS and a triangle. I'm happy. I don't know if I should be happy though. I'm definitely happy because the backfire is gone. That's a good thing. I am a bit worried though because it's definitely smoking. And that light. So I'm wondering, why is that? Is it perhaps because it's on the stand? I'm just going to put it on the side stand. That is concerning. Why is that light on? But the backfire is definitely gone. I'm very impressed with that. That was that rubber. That's it. Nothing else. The ABS, I did put back this sensor. It's a speed sensor. Maybe, I don't know, maybe once you start driving, it goes off. And it's quite easy to fit. All you do is remove the screw at the bottom and then it slides into position. We've done very well this far. It runs, there's a bit of smoke, but the backfire is gone. And all the parts is, and it looks great. Just look at it. You're probably dying to know how much did it cost to buy all these parts to get it up to this point. I've got all the invoices here. 1200 GS. So I paid 77,136 Rand. Okay, and now the parts that I bought from BMW, 562 Rand. From Bike Parts Online, 1,725 Rand. 1,380 Rand. 258 Rand, 4,922 Rand. If we add this up, 85,983. This is a great deal. I think the first thing now is to actually go and drive it and see if this bike is in a good condition now for 85,000, then it's a real bargain. But if I go on the road now and I find there's a problem, then right now I'm gonna check the coolant. Did order a helmet, so I'm very excited about that. The next thing was to add the coolant, which I bought from BMW. The next step was to add my GS911 and run a diagnostic scan to see if there's any fault codes. So there was only 2 fault codes. The one was to do with the ABS sensor and the other with the backfire. I cleared both. There we go, start. Okay, and it started really nice. It sounds fantastic. Wow, this sounds so good. And it sounds so powerful. I'll just run it a little bit. I'm not gonna rep it too much. I might just do it like 1,000 times more today because I love the sound. The fumes are going out. That's not a problem. It's not smoking. Nothing. That's fantastic. I am happy. I am very, very happy. Obviously you get upgraded exhausts and stuff, but I don't have money for that. But my judgment as a newbie, the standard exhaust actually also sounds, I think, quite good. All right, now we're at 74 degrees. It's now sitting at 99 degrees Celsius. The fan is not on. 99. And there it goes. The fan is on. Look at it go. And that's at exactly 100 degrees Celsius, and then it goes down from 100 to 90, 89, and 98 and 97. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, it's working, it's working. Yes, man alive. And there's still no smoke. Yes. Wow, I'm so happy. The fan, and then it switched off at 95, it goes up to 96 again, and then the fan will come out at 100. I am so happy. Now, let's take it for a spin and see if it actually drives. Okay, first gear. Wow! Wow! Alright, that's wow. To go right, I need a helmet, and this is what I bought. Spirit Fusion Matte Black, 2,500 Rand. A very affordable helmet. Nice matte black finish. It is safety rated. It feels like I'm in a lift, like at an office building. And now it feels like I'm at an open air concert. I'm one with nature. There's no plastics. I can see the frogs and the trees and the plants. And it's quite heavy. It feels really comfortable. It's like a fighter pilot. This is freaking awesome. It's like a sun visor. And then when the sun is on, I can just do that. I can still breathe. It's so nice. And then when I want to go high speed, so now air can flow in and out. Ouch. I need boots. I just hit my ankle on this little corner, and look at the damage. There's a hole. There's even blood. I'm nervous. Let me just tell you why I am nervous. Because now there's blood on my ankle, and I have to tell you a story. About 10 years ago, I had the other bike, and we wanted to go on the Gautrain train station route. That's when they were still building the Gautrain. And it was a perfect adventure. My friends and I, we were all geared up and ready to go. And then about 100 meters from home, I went in a dirt road, and the pedal, not this pedal, that bike's this pedal, hit my foot, was, you know, like that. And then I hit a rock that was in the grass here. And the rock hit my foot here, and it threw me off the bike across this handlebars, that side. It's now more than 10 years later. That nail has never recovered. But this toe was broken in 1 to 3 places, and this one was broken in 2 places. But that's the last time I was on a bike. So this is obviously not biker shoes, but at least it's better than wearing flip-flops. Eh? Okay, first gear, and off we go. Oh, the clutch is really, really nice. Second gear, oh, that's good. Alright, speed bump. Wow, that feels fantastic. It's smooth and soft when it goes over the speed bump. Okay, indicator left, it's working. Brakes feel really nice. Cancel indicator, perfect. The ABS lighted off. Woo! Yes! Yes! Alright, so the ABS system is working perfectly, no worries there. The gearbox is smooth, it runs really, really nice, and the speed bump, oh, the suspension is perfect. Oh, I can see why these bikes are so popular. And around the corner it feels really stable. Throttle is very nice. 2000 revs, 2200 revs, 40 k's an hour. It feels really good, this bike. The gearbox is very smooth. Let's go over the speed bump again. Ah, that's so nice. Way easier than to go over a speed bump with a bike than with a car. Let's switch on the indicator. It works fantastic. Third gear. Loose gravel on the road, but the bike just goes through it. No worries whatsoever. Little bit of throttle. Let's see the power. Wow! Wow! Alright, that's... wow! That's like next level fantastic. indicator. Wow, that's a lot of power. I just twisted it slightly and it just works. 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear works, everything works. Madness, it's mad, this thing is crazy. I can't believe how good this thing feels. Okay, side stand on. So when it's in 1st gear and you put the side step down, it dies. Wow, look at this. It feels like a roller coaster, but this roller coaster you can actually control. Next level. I can't believe how stable this thing is and how powerful. There's like so much power within this little lever here. I just turned it like maybe this much and it went. And then when I turned it this much, it felt like it's gonna jump to the next intersection. And the gearbox is smooth. Wow. And the engine sounds really, really nice when you ride it. And it's very powerful. And the clutch is really soft. When you pull it, there's no effort. The brakes are really sharp. When I pull the front one, it just wants to stop on the dot. And the back one is easy to manage because your foot just sits perfectly. Your body position, I never even thought of changing the way that I sit. It's not just a good bike, it's a fantastic bike. There's more expensive bikes, but there's not a better bike. And I got it for that price. This is an absolute steal. Wow. Okay, now it's time to fit some accessories because my heart feels like it's going like this. So the first thing I wanted to check was if there was any fault codes. So I fitted my GS 911, I did a diagnostic scan, and this time there was no fault codes. So I decided to add some accessories. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have money for real BMW spotlight. And so I'm fitting these aftermarket spotlights. These two bolts come from underneath and then it goes into a hole there and another hole there. And then it was time for the switch, and the switch had a USB plug where you can charge your phone. And then I had to do the wiring, and there it was. The spotlights was ready and it looked great. The next thing was to fit these frame guards with some cable ties. And the next was some plugs, and this plugs you just simply press into the holes in the frame, and this is just to keep the mud and some dust out of these holes and make the bike look much neater. And the next thing was this aftermarket top box. It's almost like a powder coated finish. Nice tie down points here at the top. It's got hooks here, so this opens up and it's got really nice stitching. And then they've got nice pouches here where you can maybe put a map, and then it's got a strap if you want to strap something down there. So it is lockable plastic, so it's not the strongest. And then the bottom of it looks like this. So you've got another bracket here that you can untie, and then this releases the quick release bracket. And then I'll show you, I've got some padding cushion stuff that you put on here. So it's like a back rest. So these are the two standard BMW bolts. So it's got these brackets. And all this does, grabs onto that. And when you want to take it off, you just unlock it. Release this, slide it off. When I go out riding, I sometimes may want to phone my wife and talk to my wife or talk to other riders while riding. So then I got this, the Cardo Spirit HD Duos, which you can put inside your helmet. So you can have Bluetooth, you can phone people, you can listen to voice messages, and you can play music while riding. So it's a Bluetooth, and it's also got an FM radio. But now there's things that's in the way, like for instance, when you want to go for a ride, you probably need a riding gear like a jacket and safety boots and a helmet. But now where do we put this helmet? So that's when I got this. So this is a bracket. Okay, and there we go. So now you finish riding, you take off your gear, you just walk here, you put your helmet on the bracket, you know where they are, they've got their place, they're happy, and they're making friends. They even talk to each other, I think, at night. You also get this, which is a boot bracket. So you can put this on the wall as well, so that your boots stand here, called the X-Ram bracket. Now, of course, it was very nice fitting accessories, but the best part about this bike was riding it. And boy, did I enjoy riding this bike. It's just unbelievable how nice this bike is. If you told me a few weeks ago that you can buy this bike at auction for 61,000 rand and it's this good, a few weeks later, after I only spent 10,000 rand on it and it's now worth 140,000 rand, I would say no way.